like this. Makes them request to let them in. And now our
Are you gonna introduce us? Are you
I
gonna introduce us to our guest
yes, can I
in studio?
can it load up? All right, so our very first guest. This is Mr. Jonathan. He's probably the most consistent person on a week by week basis on the Facebook portion that's always chatting and chiming in, whether it's basketball, football, NBA, even hockey. I mean, huge Cowboys, Mavs, I believe, Stars, Rangers, everything. So all Dallas. So Jonathan joins us. What's up, man? How you doing?
What's going on, man? Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Hey, I saw the watch. I'm assuming you got a Cowboys jersey on.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show, man. Welcome to the show. It's always nice when Marlon brings on fellow Cowboy fans. He always likes to trick me into letting people on who like some team that plays in Philly or some team that plays in San Francisco. So this is a great surprise.
No problem, man.
Absolutely. So yeah, we're gonna hop right into it. We were just talking about your game. That's the Sunday night football. Everybody's gonna be tuned in. Some would say, everybody would say. Well, I don't want to say everybody. Most would say San Francisco is the best team in football right now. However, Dallas is right there, right behind, behind Philly as far as in the NFC. So, what are you thinking about the game? Are you nervous? And what are you going to learn from this game on Sunday night?
Yeah, definitely looking forward to the game Sunday night. It's going to show where Dallas truly is. It's also going to show where San Francisco is too, because the dynamic that people aren't talking about is that San Fran hasn't played a team over 500 either. So every team San Fran has beaten is either 500 or worse. So this would be the best team that Dallas has played, but this is also going to be the best team that San Francisco has played up to this point too. So that's other a thing that people got to realize with that. But with San Francisco, I'm really interested to see how Dallas is going to handle Christian McCaffrey, because he's the engine to that car, literally. He's averaging 114 yards rushing per game. He leads the league. He leads the team in receptions with 18. And out of the 14 touchdowns that the San Francisco 49ers have scored this season, he's accounted for half of them. So McCaffrey is the engine to that car. So if you can slow him down, you'll slow down their offensive production by at least 50%. So that's really going to be the key to it, is if you can slow down Christian McCaffrey.
Nice. I agree. And we don't historically, or over the last couple of years under the Dan Quinn era, do amazing against running backs, especially if we don't get the team in a passing situation. So I'm hoping that we start fast, give our defense some help, get some points on the board early, and kind of take that running game out of it. Because once we do that, now we only got to worry about him as a receiver. We make him one-dimensional. And I'm not sold on Brock Purdy. To your point, Christian McCaffrey is that offense. I really like Brandon Ayuk. I think he's their best receiver, despite Deebo Samuel, despite the tight end. I won't think of his name right now, but the really good one, Kittle. And I think Ayuk is the best route runner on that team. He's always freaking open because you can't double team him. And then Deebo gets a screen pass and goes 70 yards. So there's a lot to worry about in that aspect too. But I think if we're able to bottle up McCaffrey early, put some points on the board, and it's a tall task, but I think that helps.
I mean, you also got to remember in the divisional playoff game last year, Dallas had McCaffrey to roughly about 35 yards rushing. They kept him in check. The key thing to slowing down Christian McCaffrey is that Kyle Shanahan's scheme is really that good. He uses a lot of pre-snap motion and misdirection to get linebackers and they safeties. Basically, your eye discipline has to be very top notch against Kyle Shanahan's system. The way he creates passing lane and running lanes with his offensive scheme, especially again with the pre-snap motion and misdirection, that's what really helps our Brock Purdy so much, and even Christian McCaffrey. So the linebackers, LVE, even Michael Parsons, Jaron Kersey's in the box a lot. They can't fall for the eye candy. You got to stay at home, and you got to have great eye discipline against the San Francisco 49ers.
And what they also do really well is they all look the same. They use a lot of the same formations, and like you said, we'll pre-snap motion out of it, are a lot of the same, one tight end, one running back, 3 receiver sets. So it'll be very interesting. I want to see, man, I know you mentioned Leighton Vander Esch. I really want to see the young kid out of LSU start getting some more snaps. I think at this point, Leighton is probably a little bit better in the run because he's seen more. But the young kid from LSU, and I'm missing his name right now, but he just flies around. Damone Clark, yeah. he just flies around, and he's always around the ball, always around the pile when he's in. But I understand he has a lot of growing to do, and Leighton has seen a lot more and knows a lot more at this level. So I get that, but I mean, got to give him some more snaps to me.
Oh yeah, I mean he'll get better as time goes on. I mean, LVE is the experienced guy. He's kind of been inconsistent this year, especially with gap control. But I mean, over time he'll get there. Plus, too, Dallas is pretty thin at linebacker right now. They just bumped up Malik Jefferson from the practice squad, so I expect him to get some more reps pretty soon because they're actually kind of thin at linebacker right now.
Yep. Shout out to what's his name's ankle too. We need Parsons' ankle better, 100%. And how about we don't line him up over freaking Trent Williams every single snap? That doesn't make sense. I hope they move him around. Don't let his pride take control. I don't need to see best on best every snap. I want to see him against other guys and win.
Well, actually, Dan Quinn this season so far has done a really great job with that. He's moved Michael Parsons around a lot. So, I mean, you see him over the A-gap, over the guard and the center a lot. You see him over in the edges, over the left tackle or the right tackle. He even does things where he lines them up on the right side right next to Tank Lawrence. And in doing that, it frees one of them up one-on-one because you can't double-team both of them on the same side. So Dan Quinn has done an unbelievable job of moving Parsons around and creating matchups and one-on-one situations for him.
And he started doing that last year too, but for some reason in that playoff game, I know Parsons wanted it a lot, wanted that matchup, but I just don't like it. Trent Williams is freaking good.
Oh, yeah, that's one of the best left tackles in all of football, yeah.
Now, a lot of people are talking about the Eagles, but they've played so many close games where I don't even look at people ranking them high up in a sense. Like, yes, they're undefeated, but they haven't looked perfect as they've been a little bit of last year. So are you guys worried at all about them? And I know you guys are – I'm not sure when you guys are going to be playing them soon, but are you worried about them at all? Are they even on the radar?
We played Philly week 9 after our bye week. I mean, you still can't count them out. Yeah, they're 4-0. They're missing both of their coordinators from the last couple of years. Both of the coordinators, the head coaches now, like Jonathan Gannon. He's the head coach of Arizona, which I kept explaining to people why Arizona looks so good against us because he's extremely familiar with us. But that's the key thing. They're missing both the offensive and defensive coordinator from the past couple of years. The also thing, too, that Eagles fans need to accept and worry about is in that secondary, everybody not named Darius Slay has been really bad. Every quarterback pretty much they faced has lit that secondary up. That Eagles have a very, very good defensive front four, which has kind of bailed out that secondary a lot with their pressure. But everybody in that secondary not named Darius Slay has been lit up. Sam Howell threw for 300 against them. Mac Jones threw for over 300 yards against them. I mean, every quarterback they played pretty much this year has lit them up.
So I'm just looking at their schedule really quick. They got the Rams this weekend. Next weekend they have the Jets. And then they play the Dolphins. Then the Commanders. We'll see how that goes. And then this is when it gets tough. You got the Cowboys. Then they got their bye.
It got tough with the Dolphins.
Yeah, but I mean, you got the Commanders there, so hopefully you should handle business with the Commanders. But you have the Cowboys and you have your bye week. Then you got the Chiefs. Then you got the Bills. Then you got the Niners. And you got the Cowboys again. Like, that middle of that stretch right there is going to be real tough. So it's going to put them to the test. I mean, they end the season with the Giants, Cardinals, and then the Giants again. So that middle of the pack is going to be tough for them.
Yeah, well, let me say this, because I've never said anything good about the Eagles on this podcast, and I like to keep that trend going. But I'm also trying to be as honest as possible. And Devontae Smith has grown a lot this year as a receiver. His route running has improved. A.J. Brown is just a physical specimen, pause. But I also think that with the offensive coordinator moving, with Jalen Hurts getting a new offensive play caller, you're seeing him almost take a half a step back from where they were last year and how comfortable he was last year with that play caller and with that system they were running. I think that's part of why they're in these close games. We're seeing them 3 and outs. We're seeing them, in positions where I saw them miss a 4th and 1 the other day or a 3rd and 1 with that quarterback push. And I don't even think I've ever seen that before. As much as I hate to see that play, it always freaking works. But yeah, I wanted to say that about Devontae Smith before he moved on from them. I was I was not really worried about them as a tandem, him and AJ Brown, because I think you could put your best corner on AJ Brown and then just have a speedster with Devontae. But his route running has improved a lot, and I think he made a big jump this week or this year. Excuse me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Devontae Smith, he's turning into a legit number 2 receiver for them this year. The issue really you're seeing is Jalen Hurts is not running very much. They're not running very many design runs for him. And as much as people really don't want to hear it or openly admit it, especially with the contract he just got, he's really not the greatest passer. He's good enough to get the job done. Let's not get it twisted. But, I mean, is he the most accurate passer? No, not really. Is he the best passer in the league? No, not really. He can get the job done. But also, I mean, the fact that he has the elite running game, the Eagles have like the number 2 rushing attack in the league right now. They have still the best offensive line in the league right now. A.J. Brown is the top 10 receiver. So the amount of talent around Jalen Hurts is still top notch. So that helps out quite a bit. But that's just the main issue that you're seeing is because you see that his offensive coordinator is with the Indianapolis Colts, and that's the head coach there. And you see Anthony Richardson looking amazing right now when he's played in that offense. He's running left or right. That's the system Jalen Hurts was in last year. So you're seeing the difference. They're missing these coordinators. They will never admit it, but they're missing them.
And I love to see it.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dan Quinn for being a real one.
Yeah. And Jonathan, before we let you go, man, Super Bowl predictions. I know it's early; it's only week 5, but looking forward to Super Bowl predictions. Who you got?
Right now, if you had to ask me right now, honestly,
Right
Dallas and Buffalo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
But you asked me 4 weeks into the season, though, too.
Yes, absolutely. So,
Yeah.
Hey, well, we appreciate you for joining, and thank you for always supporting on Facebook. Whenever we're on Facebook, you're always in the chats from start to finish, from the top all the way to the bottom with our picks. So we appreciate you for joining, man, and we'll get you back on soon.
Oh, appreciate it, man.
Yes,
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it.